Think about this. An entire village, men, women, and small children, vanishing into thin air overnight. No signs of a struggle, no bodies, no blood. Even their houses were gone. Where did 115 human lives go? They left behind only one chilling clue. A single word carved into a tree. CROATOAN. Did the earth swallow them whole? Welcome to the FYI Insight. If you think they were just killed by wild animals or hostile tribes, you are completely wrong. Today, we decode America's oldest and most terrifying unsolved mystery, the Lost Colony of Roanoke. This nightmare began in the year 1587. A group of 115 English settlers arrived on a strange, isolated island off the coast of North America. They called it Roanoke. They were led by their governor, a man named John White. In the beginning, there was hope. John White's own daughter gave birth to a baby girl named Virginia Dare. She was the very first English child born in the Americas. Everything seemed perfect. But Roanoke was not a paradise. As winter approached, their food supplies began to run out. Tensions with neighboring Native American tribes grew violent. The fear of starvation and attack loomed over the camp. The desperate colonists begged their governor, John White, to sail back to England and return with food, weapons, and more people. Leaving his daughter and his newborn granddaughter on an uncharted island was the hardest decision of his life. But he had no choice. Before leaving, he established a secret code with the colonists. He told them, "If you are forced to leave this island while I am gone, carve the name of your new location into a tree. And if you are in danger or under attack, carve a cross symbol directly above the name." With this plan in place, John White set sail for England. He thought he would return in a few months. But fate had a much darker plan. As soon as he arrived in England, a massive war broke out against Spain. Queen Elizabeth ordered every single available ship to join the battle against the Spanish Armada. John White was trapped. He could not find a ship to take him back to America. He spent 3 agonizing years trapped in England, terrified for his family's survival. Finally, after 3 long years in the year 1590, he secured a ship and sailed back to Roanoke. As his ship approached the island, John White's heart dropped. The island was completely silent. There were no voices echoing from the shore, no smoke rising from the chimneys. When he finally reached the site of his colony, what he saw paralyzed him with fear. There was no one there, but the most shocking part was the houses were gone too. They hadn't been burned down or destroyed in a battle. They had been carefully dismantled, and all the heavy wooden logs were missing. There were absolutely no signs of a struggle, no broken weapons, and no blood. Then he saw it. Carved deeply into a large wooden defensive post at the edge of the camp was a single bizarre word: CROATOAN. And on a nearby tree, the letters CRO. John White rushed over and desperately examined the wood. There was no cross symbol carved above it. This meant they were not attacked. They had dismantled their homes and left willingly to a place called CROATOAN. CROATOAN was the name of a nearby island located just 50 miles south, home to a friendly Native American tribe. A massive wave of relief washed over John White. He believed his family was safe and living with the natives. He immediately ordered his captain to set sail for CROATOAN Island. But the ultimate tragedy of this story was just beginning. As they raised the anchors, a brutal, massive hurricane hit the coast. The winds were deafening, and the ocean swelled to terrifying heights. The ship was taking on water, and the captain refused to go any further, stating they would all drown. He turned the ship around and sailed back to England. John White screamed and begged, but he was powerless. He was only 50 miles away from his daughter and granddaughter, but he would never see them again. After that stormy night, the 115 settlers of Roanoke were never seen by the modern world again. So what actually happened to them? Historians have debated three main theories for centuries. The first theory suggests they were eventually hunted down and killed by hostile tribes or Spanish soldiers. But if that is true, why hasn't a single human remain or mass grave ever been found on the island? The second theory suggests they tried to build small boats and sail back to England on their own, but drowned in the unforgiving Atlantic Ocean. But the third and most compelling theory is that they successfully integrated into the Croatoan tribe. They abandoned their English clothes, learned the native language, and moved inland. Years later, when other European explorers arrived in the region, they reported something chilling. They found Native American tribes where certain members possessed bright blue eyes and blonde hair. These are strictly European genetic traits. Did Virginia Dare and her family simply become part of the tribe? To this day, modern archaeologists are using ground-penetrating radar and DNA testing to search the surrounding areas. They have found 16th century English rings, coins, and broken pottery hidden deep in the mud. But the true definitive fate of those 115 people remains buried under 400 years of dirt. What do you think happened to the lost colony? Did they perish in the wild, or did they erase their own history to survive? Let me know your darkest theories in the comments below. And if you want to explore more of history's greatest unsolved mysteries, make sure to hit that subscribe button for the FYI Insight.